Authorities are investigating the death of Dakota Stevens, a 10-year-old boy living in the foster care system in Northwest Indiana. On April 25th, around 2:35 p.m., paramedics were dispatched to the residence that he was at for a, quote, medical emergency. Upon arrival at the residence, the medical emergency services transported the boy to a local hospital for treatment, where he was then reported dead. The Indiana Department of Children's Services made a statement. Take a listen to what they said. Our entire staff is heartbroken by this news. DCS works with stakeholders and partners across the state to investigate the death of a child anytime there is suspected abuse or neglect and will take the appropriate action. DCS foster parents must complete intensive training and education to achieve licensure. Licensure is re-examined each year to ensure the foster family continues to meet DCS requirements, including additional training each year to maintain this license. DCS policy also addresses termination of licensure, which includes circumstances where a foster parent or member of the household has been substantiated for abuse or neglect. Dakota was not known to have any underlying medical conditions. That's not to say that there wasn't any within him, but they did not know of any medical conditions that could have contributed to his death at the moment. Dakota Stevens had dreams of becoming a firefighter or police officer. He loved listening to Katy Perry, and he had an obsession with pizza and chicken nuggets. Authorities are not saying that foul play is involved. However, they currently are investigating and all options are on the table. Drop some hearts in the comments for Dakota Stevens, and of course I will keep you guys updated as soon as new information comes out. 10-year-old Dakota Stevens, a foster child from Indiana, was taken to the hospital on April 25th, 2024 due to a medical emergency. Dakota was in the care of a foster parent when paramedics arrived. However, after being in the hospital for 2 days, he was ultimately taken off of life support and passed away. It was just a few days ago, however, when Dakota's death was ruled a homicide due to mechanical asphyxia. This is when an object or physical force stops someone from breathing. Now, when I first talked about this case when it first happened, down in the playlist below, part 1, if you guys missed that, I did not know why Dakota was actually in the foster care system, and a lot of people were asking, well, now we know that in 2018, Dakota was actually taken away from his 2 biological parents because of their issues with drugs. After about 2 weeks in DCF, his aunt, Anna Parrish Parker, actually received custody of him in May of 2018. While under the care of his aunt, DCS made Dakota go to 2 therapy sessions per week. It was reported that Anna allegedly mentioned some behavioral issues that Dakota was dealing with at school, and then DCS ordered that he attend 2 more therapy sessions a week, so they wanted him to go to therapy 4 times per week. Now, Anna didn't think that this was a good idea because Dakota was already having 2 visitation sessions with his parents a week. He also had those 2 other therapy sessions as well as school, so it just didn't give him time to be a kid, and Anna didn't think that 2 more therapy sessions added to his schedule would help him. And DCS didn't like that, and they ultimately took him out of her care. DCS stated that the foster home that Dakota was put into after he was taken away from Anna was licensed in 2017 and was in good standing. As of right now, the Porter County Sheriff's Department is saying that this is an active and open investigation, and they are working around the clock investigating this case. I will keep you guys updated as more information comes out, so make sure to follow. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I just feel like this is another example of the system failing a child, and it really just breaks my heart. If you guys haven't heard me talk about this case right here, you need to stop and listen to this video right now. This 10-year-old child, Dakota Stevens, was unalived by his foster mother back in April of 2024, and that is now 100% confirmed. On April 25th, authorities were called to this foster mother's home because she said one of the children was having a, quote, medical emergency. Dakota ended up passing away from this medical emergency. However, the medical examiner ruled that his death was due to mechanical asphyxia, which is basically when something is preventing someone from being able to breathe. Now, what was preventing him from being able to breathe? His foster mother, Jennifer Lee Wilson, who was laying/sitting on him as a form of punishment. According to a probable cause affidavit that was filed on July 8th, 2024, authorities stated that when they arrived to the scene to respond to this medical emergency, they witnessed Dakota having bruising on his lower neck and upper chest area. Once Dakota was rushed to the hospital, a CT scan was performed on him where they found swelling in his brain. This is an indicator of someone being deprived of oxygen for too long. While being interviewed, Jennifer, Dakota's foster mother, told authorities that Dakota had both verbal and physical aggression issues and that he woke up that morning feeling very agitated. Jennifer said that she told Dakota that he needed to do his chores or he wouldn't be able to go outside that day, and I guess he wasn't choosing to do his chores. He then got upset and said that he was just going to leave. Jennifer stated that she wanted to give him a couple of minutes to cool off, so she gave him like 5 minutes, then went outside, realized he wasn't in the backyard, and then got in her car to go and look for him. That's when she found him speaking to a neighbor close by to their home, and when he was told to get into her car, I guess he didn't get into her car. This neighbor was interviewed by authorities, and she said she didn't call the police because she didn't know what was going on and she felt that it was probably best for her to just mind her business. Dakota eventually got back in the vehicle and was driven back to his foster mother's house by Jennifer Wilson, and he refused to get out of the car, she said. Jennifer stated that when she opened the car door to tell Dakota to get out of the vehicle and he refused, he started screaming. That is when she began to lay on his midsection and call his caseworker. Get this, Wilson also stated that when she was trying to prevent Dakota from leaving, she doesn't remember if she tackled him to the ground or if they both fell. She just knows that her main goal here was to keep him held down so that he wouldn't run away. She then told authorities that after a couple of minutes, she rolled him over, asked if he was okay, and that's when she realized that he was unresponsive. Jennifer Wilson said she immediately called 911 and began doing CPR on him. In the document, it also confirms that Dakota ran to a neighbor's house 30 minutes prior, I'm going to assume that it's the same neighbor from earlier, and asked that woman to adopt him because his foster mother would hit him in the face and she wouldn't allow him to call his caseworker. This neighbor told authorities that she didn't see any physical injuries on Dakota's face or arms, and that's what prompted her to not call the police. Ring camera footage was sent in from several neighbors' homes to authorities, and that's when they were able to see exactly what happened to Dakota. The footage immediately starts with Jennifer laying across Dakota's body around his neck and head area. And this first clip was only about 20 seconds, but Dakota was screaming for the entire 20-second video. Another video shows Jennifer Wilson on top of Dakota with his arms above his head. And in this video, Dakota apparently does not move a single time, and this video was almost 7 minutes long. And in the final video, it appears that she gets off of Dakota. She's like on her knee or something next to him and starts saying, Dakota, Dakota. And when she realizes he's not responding, that's when she starts to panic and then call 911. And mind you, when you put together the times from each of these separate videos, she was on him for at least 10 minutes. Jennifer is described to be 4'11" and 340 pounds. So this 340-pound woman thought that it was okay and a safe thing to do to lay across her 91-pound, 10-year-old foster kid, and that he was just going to be disciplined by this. Nothing bad was going to happen. Like, what the heck were you thinking, lady? On Monday, July 8th, an arrest warrant was issued against Jennifer Wilson. However, the Porter County Sheriff's Office stated yesterday on Friday that she still is not in custody. So they definitely need to get on top of that because justice needs to be served for 10-year-old Dakota Stevens. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to follow for more updates on this case and others. And as soon as we have any new information or updates, I will let you guys know. Hey everyone, an image has been released of Jennifer Lee Wilson. This is the foster mother of Dakota Stevens, who is being charged with unaliving him after she laid across his body as a form of punishment. This is a picture of her right here. Apparently she's around 340 pounds, at least that's according to what her ID says. And I just don't understand what her thought process was for why she thought that it would be a good idea to lay across a 90-pound 10-year-old in order to restrain him. Like, it just does not make sense. She deserves everything that's coming her way. This article states that Jennifer Lee Wilson, who is being charged with reckless homicide and the death of Dakota Stevens, was arrested on Saturday by sheriff deputies in Southwest Michigan. Wilson was located by Berrien County Sheriff's deputies around 8:18 p.m. along North Thompson Street near East Buffalo Street in New Buffalo and was taken into custody. So she was actually arrested about 4 hours away in Michigan for from where the crime committed and where she lived in Indiana. So I'm wondering, was she on the run? Because this article also states that Wilson's apprehension was made possible by a license plate reader camera that detected her vehicle. Wilson is currently in custody in Michigan on a fugitive of justice warrant. Court records indicate that the charges in Indiana are pending and do not list a plea. Also, the other children that she was fostering have been taken out of her home. Anyway, I will continue to keep you guys updated as new information comes out about this case, so make sure to follow if you guys are interested in that as well as other true crime stories. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and I will talk to you guys later. Hey everyone, so it's been a while since we talked about this young boy's story right here. This is 10-year-old Dakota Levi Stevens. Back in April of 2024, Dakota took off from his foster mother's house. This is her right here, Jennifer Lee Wilson. Dakota actually ended up going to a neighbor's house where he pleaded and begged for that neighbor to adopt him, to take him in. He did not want to live in this foster home under this woman's guardianship. Jennifer ends up fighting Dakota and she drags him home. An altercation ensues and somehow Dakota Levi Stevens ends up on the ground. She is laying on top of him while she calls his social worker to talk about the fact that he was misbehaving. Again, this is a 10-year-old who weighs about 90 pounds, whereas this woman is over 300 pounds. During this time period, Dakota is trying to fight this woman off of him until he loses consciousness and stops moving. This is when Jennifer Lee Wilson ends up having another foster child that is living within her home. Call 911, paramedics respond, and he ends up passing away due to asphyxia. She unalived this child. Now, she has been convicted of reckless homicide and she pled guilty. Her maximum sentence is 6 years in a correctional facility and also a $10,000 fine at most. So this woman is going to be walking free again after unaliving this child. Could be 6 years, could be 5, could be 4. The max sentence that she can serve is 6 years. And again, the most that she's going to have to pay is $10,000. That could be reduced, could be 8, could be 7, could be 6 or 5. This is not justice for 10-year-old Dakota Levi Stevens. This is not justice at all. This woman's responsibility as a foster mother, she literally signed up to be a protector, to be a guardian, to be a teacher to these children. And she completely did the opposite and took this child's life. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Do you think that she should only be serving 6 years max? Or do you think that she should be serving a lot longer of a sentence? Let me know your thoughts. Please share this video. Let's try to get Dakota's story out there. It really hasn't gotten much media attention, and I would really like more people to know about this story. Make sure to follow for updates, and I'll talk to you guys later.